net saying.
You know, Obi. Yamado me hoya afisha panso. Hey. Yamado me one.
Honorable swagger na Ewura studio ha no nti. I think that Gambaga boko.
Oh, Yamiadum Gambaga de bibia da din. Ti on this occasion mami fa kwenye na minchia all Gambaga Republicans. Ghana ye din ambetimi ato alcohol. Akoye the consular general nti udi won hia visa. Every Ghana issue dodo. The economy has heated up beyond redemption.
Yeah.
Gambaga de wo ho. Nti if you want to emigrate Mr. Mara
ubetimi aba.
Oh, member arrangement. House benyi dwuma kama ye. Nti Mr. Mo wa Ghana o feel say the Republic of Ghana is hot, no Republic of Gambaga or home. Aye.
Very well.
Yeah.
Very well. My memo honorable Kojedu Asari akwa ba na fe I take me mfa won chance here. But I think Brasika honorable. Okay. Brasika na Facebook for no inhu ye. No, I think just pull your chair. You can be in that chair. Good.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Honorable akwa better saying.
Yeah.
Afi papa nkometri yen na. Yeah, that's it. You who watch kakra.
Yeah, Bamu studio for a whole year. Bunya cry, move to call and even say Merry Christmas.
No. I said don't me frail.
Of frail one.
Me cry.
Dominic is here.
Bisano. Yeah.
What's your friend on Nijri? Masabra.
And no candy.
Was it
one frail?
Obviously on frail, yeah. Let alone like.
Yeah, besides
last year put we events and kakra. This year the krana.
Many meguase. Don't me many meguase.
Economy like tight.
Debbie, you see,
they are running the contractional economy.
I don't agree.
Austerity.
I don't agree.
They are rationalizing expenditures.
You see what it takes to come and sit here weekly for a whole year.
You are right.
It must be appreciated.
No, you are right. You are right.
No, I agree.
We had an arrangement. It was say anchor. You are right. We will redeem ourselves. All right. You be redeeming. Panda to say.
Oh, Panda started like I think on the 3rd of December.
Sure.
It's in its
embryonic
and teething stage.
It's the restaurant, no.
Oh,
Chinese
way
pa.
Okay.
Kasai.
You can okay.
Yeah, it's so far.
There's a particular panda in this country.
Panda dear.
It was panda.
Oh, panda dear. So you can have a panda that has nothing to do with restaurants.
Indeed had nothing to do with restaurants.
Oh, okay. So we are doing well.
Oh, nice.
So far.
Oh, nice. That's
Nema kakra. At least we don't want to like rush through a growth.
Run ahead of yourself.
You know what I say? Because some of these days, sometimes you could push you get the buzz, and people start me. I've had that experience before when I was producing furniture, and it got to a point I had to run.
Demand.
I left Ghana for 10 months. Just so it was after 10 months. And some yetimia settle omwana your obligation to deal with. And that being an experience, I think say the organic growth will help us. So the networking kakra, we've had a few friends say events, 2 events it was super. It was brutal. Just wow, I might be that day, just say you missed it. But we have good food as well, like by all standards. Chinese cuisines, cool. Just like Ghana for a try BB. We are doing serious real Chinese food. Just corporate entities, our more parties, our more person have a taste of Chinese, and whatever goes along with it, they can always get in touch with us, and then we will cater for them.
Nice.
We will also help them run their event. Because me and Kasa, I'm an event person when it comes to food and beverage side. You know, the year has just started, and we are very optimistic for whatever Spada is likely to become. And you know, we have high hopes. even though we can also appreciate the times.
Yeah.
You know, in Yemen tight, and so disposable income is very, hard to come by.
Yeah.
But it is for that reason. And we would have loved to even, shed off some of the prices. But just say, who decided so by the next moment you go to town and and for me, I think it's not fair to the Ghanaian people. Do you understand the drastic
increase in prices?
No, just say, just say, even
you
when
can
you want
plan.
You want to do what is right. Your hands are tied behind you. What I say, because I wish I could sell my food for maybe 40, 45 cedis.
Per
but I'm selling it for 70 because me call oil board, me call rice board, me call vegetables. Keke idea Ghana ha. Mimia, the prices who could be sa utibe boom.
Vegetables.
Yanka sokra ye food senka and nona. As I say, you promote to now. I mean, for our own health. So, honestly, I think, sir, as I said, especially matters that concern food. See, you be found. Say you be found. The other day I heard there.
I said ministry intervention.
You see, please. You see, the other day with Papa no, and he says, say. Ye tiakra ye fusa kra ye Ghana inti niema no boy din wo Ghana na te say
baby wa kra no che baby
you see then it means say onye politician papa, because the politician is supposed to baby niema no boy fo no wo be twen free ho and distribute it so that the price can remain.
Yeah, not somebody be by ministry. Somebody by ministry.
It was an insult.
Please,
it was actually a joke.
Ministry intervention.
And that would have met the demand for body in the whole of Ghana.
But there 2 tracks, was what? An intervention.
Also, you're fair, Kaka. 2 tracks.
No, even if they were even 100 tracks.
I didn't go for ton for the whole week. Ministry. I don't want to go be
so until after 1 week, no the body be.
It's lifespan, you're saying.
No, after 1 week, no the body be.
No, I mean, besides brother, Nankas, I'll talk be goofy. The lifespan, how many days?
After 2 weeks.
You understand? So please, and yet a policy that anybody should even mention, an intervention, cry. When it comes to this particular intervention, any JHS class prefect can think like this. What you say? SS prefect can think like this. What you say? University put them in for because they will think better than this one. It's not an intervention, because you see, you bring it to where? Ministries.
Yes.
Traffic from Adenta
from your house to
even to that place and back. The cost of that, Sabi, what they can't, now, doesn't it make sense than to drive from your Adenta to traffic here? The cost.
Say government workers are now that enclave na omonton fam refi.
Now, one young government workers no.
What say?
Now, young
intervention for government workers.
No, you see, please, you see that young fat politician Tianika taxpayers' money for this purpose. Otherwise, sorry. They are sorry for. I think they will even do better. They'll do voluntary work. Do you understand?
Yes.
They can do voluntary work. They won't take money. And they will think better than this.
94.7.
Do you understand? For me, I think, sir, of all, I have so much respect for Honorable
free.
One of the worst.
I said I have. When I say I have a lot, I'm talking about. I worked with him.
Our parliament,
food, agric, and
cocoa affairs
committee level. And please, his contributions at any level. He was the late Okubo Debra's
the vice
at the time, and that pair versus Alhaji Yakubu
as ranking
Dr. Yakubu. It was one
solid.
time.
He's been a terrible.
I was expecting so much from him to when he became the minister. But I think, fertilizer business, and or you're more interested in.
And also, you're fair.
No,
fertilizer business.
Fertilizer business.
Fertilizer business.
Monsieur, your fertilizer business.
Planting for food and jobs.
Your fertilizer business. Do you want me to bring you evidence?
What the evidence never will go into.
Please, you see, never do a we can't not to one woman. No, but
the evidence near ready, I will go into.
But quite frankly,
yes,
as a minister,
but the point you also made was not fair to him.
Which,
I mean, how
my assessment? Muti hanum na mo assessment ko for mo award award mo no. You are what I'm sure no, didn't account.
Yeah, none of didn't count.
So very good. That reinforces my point, sir.
No, but who the NSA? Or you're the worst performing minister.
I said one
of the worst
performing ministers. Yes.
After PFJ, you know PFJ.
It's a huge disaster.
Planting for food and jobs.
And now a comedy. Oh. Otherwise, why would he? You can say import body to come and sell in Accra.
No, not your body and Bob.
Oh, you also that now. Are you ridiculing the man or something?
No, but we are stating facts. The fact is that not your body and and no, or can I say or the free?
No, like from not into Accra.
O say.
Name your crash as you can't see the body. A bit me some cry for. I'm some kind for.
No, but a crisis center where
but dear boy bet me feel the whole Ghana, honor cover body. And no call.
And as an Agric minister. No, as an Agric minister. Now, Nedman is your
so it was an intervention.
Dynamic intervention. Look, he's not the first Agric minister we've had. And the measure of a good performing Agric minister, and they say it should be easy for people to have access to food without some intervention. And he's not our first and our last.
No, but you recall, sir, when that conversation started, the experts, communicators, and I say commentators,
experts, phrase your phrase.
Oh, like Agric experts.
91.
Agric experts.
The
Omokai and say, if the government is arguing, say, a traders no, and take advantage.
Argument,
he
was the one.
A traders na take advantage of transport fares increment to increase prices on them. Then government should have an intervention.
To reduce
almost in Nuanigu. In Wurem na Airpro, in Timmy Medru City Center, and a traders na kofaka kraba no, aswa price no. So let government go out there, provide means of bringing the food to the city center, and on intervention on so yeah, no.
Anti-food, no, is that the only thing we eat? But that's even beside the point. Yes. You see, say government should find a way to deal with cost of transport now. That's not the way you deal with
cost of food, increasing price of food.
You see, before you price a product. Transport cost account.
Sure.
And in this case, that's what shot the price of food items. According to your experts.
Sure.
What you say? Even though I feel say it is one, but there are other
no, but also inflation cost, not mainly food inflation.
And exactly, but we are determined, we are now discussing food pricing. Sure. And I may say there are other elements aside transport cost that push up the prices of food.
Yes.
What you must say?
Yes.
And Yamfani say transport cost one of it. Now, buying, and then the experts you talk about, Ejitum say a factor. Now you see Abanya who bibia, and once you go high trucks. What on chini? What on chini? Na say enko agogo, na enko sisabodi emrakra. That's the way, and this is not a sustainable. They were talking about a sustainable intervention that would see to the reduction in transport cost, that would reflect in lower prices of food. But the point is that why? Is this the first time we have had increase in transport?
Transport fares?
Transport fares. There were times that now a cost of crutch and see. And I'm talking about percentage terms.
Sure.
Now, so with food prices, and the way a year and what was here. So you cannot.
What's your point? Your point is that food is available.
That is the point.
There is no food.
No, when you say there's no
but
food,
sometimes just told you say body busu agogo ma
minua
agogo.
No,
but you know there.
I know agogo. Minua agogo. Now have you verified it? Say okwa agogo a bu a pro. But in any case, why? And the food we consume in Accra and elsewhere, and your body on kwa.
Sure.
What is the output of emu in the last farming season and our farming year? What is the output of ebro in the last farming? These are the things we need to talk about. Yekoka ebro hwase was no called Techiman eko kind botona yedi ta poli akatasuno, and he gave his own figure. He mentioned some outrageous figure because omko kan ya no nenenam eyi e na yeti akra esi ebro ni ha. Now so oko Techiman kwa oko kan botona edida honom no na edoso. Look,
as a Greek minister over 10 Oberman is saying.
Yeah. Me man mark va obe feel.
Oh.
Medical amount my
failure, let's say 2 over 10.
It could be less, it could be anything that is failure. And no one do man. And I've already made that point. What him say, the amount of money you see in every public investment, a dia obia eka hwanisem there should be value for money in all government investments. PFJ programming.
Sure.
Do you have an idea how much we pumped into it? Do you have an idea? It is in billions of Ghana cedis. And is this the output to show for some investment? You know?
The last time I interviewed him,
in fact,
yes, you listened to that interview. I think you sent even a message.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
say measure how much we pumped into that whole program. As against the output, our more quantify at the ministry now, then we've done marvelously well. I mean,
or not, or quantify and sign or kind.
About 20 billion. You didn't
exactly. I want to repeat it.
Yes.
Yes. Onya, Papa, look, if there is any minister who manufactures his own figures and throws them out, employment. He even used, look, but now without any scientific empirical basis, he was able to quantify. He was able to quantify the output of PFJ, no, and then to call bill. That's as GDP cry saying, which means this is a significant percentage of our GDP. The output of PFJ, in fact, constitutes a very significant percentage of our total GDP. But this is not the first time.
But only contrary factor, you cannot dispute his.
Oh, so you see, this is the thing. Your kind is not factual.
Not factor,
factual. What is the source of your kind?
Exactly.
The Ministry of Agric.
Have you seen any such
MOFA data?
Or website? Usually they publish their data on their websites. When will be that? Have you seen any data that says quantifying? And look, a lot of things. In fact, a lot goes into quantifying
output from
Agric. And yeah, easy, sir. What must I say? But yeah, let's even grant say they did that. Is there any source? I'll bet you I can say, who call website? And if you check this document, there is that then you can hold on Crawford who came up with that figure no to explain. But on no kind and young one because why? Obi Oka say PFG has created a number of jobs. And then how did he come by that figure? Or see, it takes every acre.
Yes.
Uses
who here nipa miensa and ebe apply fertilizer.
So we multiply the number of fertilizer by that potential number of. Is that how you do calculation of employment?
2 weeks. Oh yes, our fertilizer.
No, but is that even how you calculate employment?
Created employment for 1 week employment.
No, is that how you even create employment?
Jesus.
Me, where I come from, farming. Obi to me swan fearful. To go and ask for fertilizer throw in there, they go and do it, and they are not paid for it. And labor that is not paid for, you won't even say employment.
Employment, very well. I think I used the point largely.
That was just
Obi.
So where they need
some point. Remember officially. Yes, 1 minute.
Oh yeah, we be ranking.
Sure.
I saw something last week. Was it last week or last 2 weeks? First working day of the month. And for me, it was very instructive. The very first day, working day of the month, I saw a minister. Okoejuma that day.
Oh, there are serious ministers too.
And
first working day.
I think it was 3rd or so December, 3rd or 4th. January, sorry. And what even blew my mind and answered my head, the fact say, na okoye inspection. Become Minister of Roads.
I'm Wakwanta.
Yes.
And
he pulled all his
senior officers
and they went around. Land Cruisers all packed. And
to save well,
you know, and for me, that you see,
singular
sometimes
way, you know,
we criticize people just because they be be or can and you there and I say the language be you so now one, you know, of course. You know him as Kasa Ase or Hoso Kakra. So such people, you don't push them for too much work.
Yes.
Do you understand? And journalists, Ghana journalists, when they know that is when they will rather try to weaken you with their friends. And also, Obetu Kakra Mano. Do you understand?
But his work, his role as the minister.
Apart from that, I took time. After all of these things, me say, look, this man, because I can't want him that, and I had all manner of feedback, some from my own people, and hey, now then what does this? Now I said, let me go. So I spoke to somebody, an engineer, our ministry, now, or say, those days people could even sign the minister's signature for classification certificates.
Wow.
Even award of contracts indiscriminately from various places are any authorization. This man has stopped them all. It is a see never be open. That's also cut corners.
You can't.
You are joking. And one thing, whether you are NPP, you are NDC, you are CPP, you are whatever, and you have the competence as a contractor, he works with you.
No, Juma. Once you can do the job.
FM. Now your man with Juma. Now I forget it. Say, because of your MPP colors, you qualify automatically because he wants the job done. This was a testimony that an engineer there was giving me. On your politician. You understand? So honestly, when I heard things like this, I thought, say, look, sometimes
when praise is due,
exactly. Studio now, we hammer people back and forth and all of that. Until when you brought this grade issue, you know, I thought, say, for the little my personal my year kakra, because I'm a critic and you know it, ardent for that matter. And then you make maybe. But please let us put things where they belong.
I get your point. He was one of our.
Please, please. Also, President Zukra as a
was starting a campaign.
Oh, please.
TLC.
He should find somewhere.
On launch, but say that was the basis for the resignation to concentrate on the campaign.
You was starting campaign.
Yeah,
so I thought like
TLC. Now, TLC. Ne slogan no.
What does it mean?
TLC no. Time tested, loyalty and a competence.
Time tested,
loyalty.
You see, like I said,
competence.
Or what parliament?
Indeed.
Or what parliament? You know.
For
me, he was solid.
No two ways. Sure. I mean, you see, especially when it comes to matters of coffee.
Yeah.
Okay, because Onankasa is a coffee grower, and he always presented
the reality
on coffee. Why Ghana couldn't be one major exporter of coffee and all of that. But please,
now Obaya
minister under Obaya first now Cocoa Board Ministry of Finance Ministry of Agric. So one would have expected say that particular project now
traditional exports
Cocoa got body goo as I speak to you today.
I know when you it's David.
A
corporate institution that borrows on their own balance sheet. Say, who throws hand your money out? It doesn't help. It doesn't. Who said? Who say? Yeah. We can be a bit more. A good year. Foreign potential investors are listening. A good year. Why? And for the sake of the institution,
it has been run down. It has been run down.
I have issues on that.
Bibia boko there. Na Kumase boko. You krom jina na so. Fantastic. Mayor ba kope.
Me on friend da o.
Me ma fisher pa. Yes, enyo bia na afra say otumi twa ye.
Yes.
Na nyame de afia cheyen ya aseda ene de ma no na miniatic menene hihye ye wo aka chem so beba ne
ye we de kwa ho
after 3 days enti we said am say me 5 me to me friend na phone adum
oh na me
o de say wo no
we jump to that
so no ndam makumasi
o mampo
that's how we can wo na to yi ma me
no
special invitation you are coming on my account inti bra
no so friend
dia oh you be so
you would love it and it is to his credit.
You should find time at least.
Find time. Obama correct VIP treat. And it's to his credit. Honorable Yadas.
Yeah. In fact, that was even before me. For I can speak personally before I even became a yompo.
Okwa now.
Oh, share. But then you baby near Ojo no.
Na say no dey to so mo.
Ma yanche bia. Ye mo bia fishapa. Na also adwuma mu ne ya fresh dawura mo boma ye ni nyina so damase mama fishapa. Na ohun asem bi wo ho a me na edu asare. Eya yankanisa. Hwe enye uni aneme.
See emu ni
me banana can ministers themselves.
Sure.
Me, I'm not here to grade any minister.
Okay.
But there are certain issues, sir. I see a can cry a woman. Me a privy to planting for food and jobs, you know. Actions be a one we take here, and now me no can say very beneficial. Say said that to a cocoa 94.7. Me de a be to my assembly and him say one my venture into grain and cereal cultivation.
Okay.
Into a pebe 2,000 acres.
That's for KMA.
Near year brune and Monsania Mano. So that a beba
revenue and Eddie Mama. Okay, that makes sense.
A bit of stock near the Abois, the
schools near
the Metropolis Assembly. No, Ajatum. So this year we are going to go on that time. Tell me to Tukain. Me call a table area where the area no to come home. Baby, Diamono. Kuafonu dia dance here my say on their planning for food and jobs. Extension officers some the bread or more improve seeds and seedling some the ma or more fertilizer and nasi for any extra or more technology come on fast near and say it cannot take 10 bags and then ultimately 30 bags. And that is one example. We call a dranum area any one for panda unya parliament we do one dance here of sa eniemano there are certain areas abeka se bia say eba coffee na we can say when you say yati the cash crop development border yenua kwete
yes
onu na ye kwetu onu na ye
former order
that one mu na guti kra no omo ye golden bean na me wo hobi a wo mu hwe development cashew coffee kube ene sa allied
palm oil
sa wo mo be ya the development you know and to me say my very much interested and I'm also into cashew crop but wo be bia be ye adwanti to da bia de tutunka ohun I think wo de wo be to da bia wa yi wani ato nchen na main road no ofiri so na oni nam jenje agogo body na wo kan edumre bi Adwasare mutai me near tick near Peace FM and na near can the rate a ye crantos if you Burkina Faso over ye kontomre kra fi Cote d'Ivoire ne mankani fi Cote d'Ivoire eba
still a crantos from
and toast ne jene menim say your production e wo from Ghana but a doom mankani ni sa body ni nasifo na and now we are rather sending body ni mankani to Burkina Faso and the rest woko agugwa say wo man no the plantain market enti ni nyina no kakra wo yemfa dakro entwa asiofra wo otubo dakro pafie besiwo no wa hwe a wonya nipa biom na wiase akona wieye enti asem ni ba ni ahwe ni ye be man kekra ka na cocoa board egu Zania Casa. I'm telling you, multimedia
were issues there, but
we bet me who am turnover. Ebia will call books ma, they will be who no. We be feel say bia the company is not even doing well. But now business strategy na e be ntesro e ya sa ensem na mode tutu mu a because time amomo wa ban
but like you said it's a corporate body that contracts loans and all of that nti you can be bia na ko hard but omo
afibia kokobod ewo edika
say omo business model na they be on bedeka because omo koje loan na
3 years
but him say
honorable rose sika wam de ye nkrankwan na e agina kokobod accounts ma afi no mutua sa kwan ho na
gang of nana na ni
Cocoa Roads
say akra ebi say nya
ebi back any Kumasi yeah but the point is because I remember say before no but some point me kai say one of the questions I me pose you to former President Mahama was I mean the interview before election and I me busa answer man for ka say onu ni Cocoa Roads so de bi Kumasi asawase ne ade ba e ho nyina ye ndua Cocoa na say na say asawase e wo Ghana Cocoa no so ebuka mu a etimi fa ba bia e dey was say obi anya so mfa so say the oil sika the whole Ghana enya ho mfa so and I don't know what you make of that response.
When it suits you you answer to that tama near Cocoa Roads some even last week
yes
I heard some of them communicators on this same Cocoa Board issue before Christmas no eka say sikanu kwa kuku akwanu kanu ye di ya kwa ba bia kuku eni me am wo fa share kagye oka bi se ni krom akwa se nka di kuku ye di kuku ska be ye no ye mfa nya di ko ba bi foforo
kagye ka sa
inti wo ensem wo kan sem wo se no am station bi no won kotra ho a e ho ti se kobo bi bia chu no kotra
me station di wa me pacho ye kasa no na honorable Kwame Agboja, ranking member on roads and transport in Parliament, or say, truth stands the test of time. Obi, hope you are doing well. Please know this fact. 1. And where in response to interview, road transport minister, I say the MPP government came to meet the construction of the Kumasi airport. The loan was approved in 2016 and contractors were on site. Oh, mami, why? The NPP took additional loan in 2019 to complete the works. The runway and terminal buildings were all part of the scope under the NDC. NPP did not start the Kumasi airport. Number 2, the NDC already did the runway and also secured another $80 million for the terminal building before the NPP came to office. Number 3, there is nothing like Buankra Inland Port. We have Buankra Integrated Logistics Terminal. We would all be happy if that project is completed, but we must be worried about its usefulness without a railway from Tema Port. There are also issues with the structure of what exactly they are building. Thank you. Honorable Kwame Agboja, ranking on roads and transport. Parliament of Ghana. Intene dia odiaba.
Nipa boni omoye.
Oh, what they?
Ba kune de kwame aye. Wadamfu ni kwakwesi ama. Se ase we kra no kra enka franu na ne nka.
Debi kwakwesi ama be kan ne de wo opi.
Me ba o ti oba kwame agboja din wo.
No, we say
asema wo ho ni se Kumasi airport.
Yes.
NDC the $29 million. Ebe runway
Extension.
Runway
extension.
One by runway. Na extension best. Some ye ni nyina. Runway. Ebe runway. One man touch facility be abiem. And the Christmas light etu akwan nchen. $29 million. And na wo mujae. Ya nya hwi biem. Wam so am kwaje bosia. Let's assume say no kre.
It is true.
President Akufo-Addo bae. Ni emfa soso unim soso. De di to ahabayire.
Sure.
Ni emfa bi nwo form. President Akufo-Addo mi wo ho and you cut his sword.
That's okay.
And you start to work
For the terminal
proper.
Any
Any extension of the terminal. Now the terminal we are doing about 2,800 meters. Omo with time no they need to expand the ansana plane a kese pa no ebetimi the twemu na wo na wo so no ebetimi esi form. It started from ground zero to baby makodo mo ye test run be start test run. Into the beer.
But it looks beautiful now. Kumasi Airport looks really beautiful now.
Yeah. You were
another facility.
You were Sambia. Where's the contractor for facility? Been a maker and on the edge, man.
A contractor, the end,
meaning yo, Bankra. Your friend Bankra inland
port. I think it means
a nomenclature.
Okay.
But the important
thing no quite me a buzzy and no, Madame Funo.
You see,
no, I think you made the point, which I think is very valid. Yes. The connection from Tema is very important.
Regional Minister, Regional Minister, me, you're a question, man. You share who are discussing your president, as part of the project to make it impactful. No, Yama rail line, no, Emra. Na example into nyadia emfa obi on set time more plan that project the concept ankasano was minus this real project into the award of the contract and all that no na real no enka ho but that's how we develop as na shewe uko wa bridge a uko history no na so for as initial grano na omni real line atwe train na train cars no at the back port you call Texas na for mu nipo no a no mu nyina no rely on say bet that they can be far for but with time no one man linking from Houston and the back the betwam call Chicago no nyina fa train a to da bia da bi me homes bi to aso be 50 I did pass dem kwana me na so abom some the port ema wo mu di ecoship that is how we develop as a nation and then bibia na da bia be here.
Yeah, but I think that to set the record straight no into Kumasi Airport project has been in 3 phases. First phase was the runway Jumana NDC you know. Second phase was the terminal. Funding for the terminal. And we secure funding for the second phase, which is the terminal. And the MPP in 2018 we secure another funding for the third phase. And I think those are the facts. But the terminal construction and everything started with them. Because somebody just said me pato, we linked to a story. United Kingdom UKEF provides financing for the development of the Kumasi International Airport in Ghana to support UK exports. In the story dated January 20th, 2020, the UK Export Finance Agency announced providing financing to support the development of Kumasi Airport in Ghana by contractor. Construction, a London-based construction company. For this purpose, UKEF has provided £40 million, which is 52 million USD worth of government support. Within the scope of the project, contractor construction will upgrade the Kumasi Airport that will allow for an extra 1 million passengers per year. The contractor construction would also execute a new apron for 2 medium class C aircraft, parking lot, access road network, and auxiliary works. And that is also another component of this whole project. And you recall, say, Ian Walker, the High Commissioner to Ghana, a tweet when I think the Vice President visited Kumasi to see progress of work on the terminal. Like I say, GP, and this is the High Commissioner of UK tweeting, GP say Masane Aba Kumasi Habio. Great progress on UK Ghana investment in Kumasi as agreed by James Dudrett and Mahmoud Baumia at UK Ghana Business Council 3 years ago. £70 million UKEF finance is transforming the airport hub to grow trade and fly up to 1 million passengers per year. And this is the UKI Commissioner also put it. I think it settles it. Project was in 3 phases. First phase, terminal, runway extension. Second phase, terminal phase 1, and a terminal phase.
Obi.
What would the quota for the goods? Because
that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's
play no. But I said quota be what I said Obi.
You see, that is the problem the MPP has. You understand? Number one, they don't want to share credit, not glory.
Okay, credit.
That is one. And number two, they don't accept blames, even when they are wrong. This is the characteristic of MPP. For me, I detest to my core. Because you see, what does it spoil? When you know, say, someone played, even if it is a 1% role, and you did 99%. What does it spoil? To say, sir, your counterpart played a certain role. Now, you did the majority or whatsoever.
I disagree completely.
Do you understand? But here we are. Now and then.
Message was sending was supposedly telling say,
I think to be fair to his text, that's not what it meant.
Runway.
Yes.
No, or say one kind.
Yes.
1 year runway.
Funding for
It bet me admitting bigger aircraft. Nobody in their right senses will give you money for a terminal.
Okay.
What am I saying?
Okay.
Without a runway, it bet me that accommodated those. Do you understand? So for me, I have basic knowledge in the aviation. He say, oh yeah, development. You go after Tamaledia,
yes.
Yankoya runway and we answer because now it makes sense to any investor to want to put money in a terminal. Officer Ankaya runway no, and I of course I'll terminal.
Because some aircrafts can't land there.
That's true.
Especially
international
but runway.
No, or cars.
Me see. What's here the quota and a goose?
Na runway na concrete.
What's here the quota and a goose?
No, the house.
Okay, asphalt. Okay, asphalt.
No, you see, I mean, sometimes, you know,
Unim say on that point you made. Krobia Kwabena Sante, Office of the Vice President. Also, Obi ask Honorable Kojedu Asare if they also gave credit to Kufuor on the Eurojet project. They claimed all those projects.
Eurojet
that is
project,
hypocrisy. Hospitals,
listen, you see, Eurojet project. Don't forget the history. Eurojet for no, Omobaya Kufuor free system. Some of the projects died with it. We had to go and resurrect. Just that the designs were there. It, you know, we just because Sikano be break cry a buy near you jet from Kwa almost sources almost digiska and your koji. We even took some from Barclays to come and support. It you know to me say Eurojet didn't was so and almost a year project every funding that was secured for those hospitals. Oh,
Kumewu is part of the Eurojet. Minim Konongo.
Me see. President Mills is on record.
Portuguese facility.
President Mills was on record.
One after the other.
President Mills was on record to have your friend saying commission N1 highway. I saw President Mills and President Kufuor and then when they were doing this. Is it Bui or
Bui?
They're commissioning the FPSO or something. You see, that is what I'm talking about. So please, a bus is our way now. NDC, we have done it. What we say, President Kufuor, Abina no crack kase Mahama na ye wida. What be that? Tema a motorway. Uba ineska ya G at the tour. You know it. Ubeche be near Jessica at the tour. Your friend back we saying Pokwasi Yajiska the tour. But there was no mention of President Mahama in any of these projects. I know what I'm talking about.
Okay, Medase, main
example back. Said the national canon. Hypocritical. Kumewu Konongo Sawata project, you know. President Kufuor and the Koji Portuguese facility. Me Sampai, Fred Honorable Basua MP. I was lead campaign for that zone. Enti ehona na me da. Wo mu ye adwuma etu amena ele pipelines ni nyina no. Me 2008 me hu so mo ye adwuma. But ene no ayi betra ha the coalition lucy asofo je. Obetra ha no ma oka projects okofa ne book bia na akira tete no bae no. Wan kwa kase endis na ye Kumewu Konongo ensuo. Me am makunta me wafase kobi onasi so ka so ba
onasi
to organize o ja kotra America la ntimi ama osorosa no aye ene de ndis bomu be bi omu di asem ye Facebook no di asem Facebook ohun omu si yenye hwe enti ba bi a wo di asem ni be free no eya no wakai e call ya yamu a and now more kind say beba okuje to asem no bi ato amane obi omahini bedid na tem okay tem okoka ne nsem no fan ho adi emre bi ade asem bi be share no say okodi twoba 20,000 and car to ya wia no washing bay e ka so okoware wa high elupra say den kwa ekwa no nyeska wan hin no wo say ni bre pa say asem no na ye ne ya
na no credit it was
okay Mate mama na mo ase Atik I'll start with you. I think the big story for this week Wukiada has been this National Cathedral Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa allegations are all making he's done as promised at the petitioner common Shraj. As we speak, Shraj at Toronto said they've received the petition and they would begin looking into the petition. It was saying this whole unfolding story.
What is the petition called?
Sami Okudzeto Ablakwa.
But as you be media, I have stated very clearly, sir, I don't support using national resources to construct the edifice to say National Cathedral.
Okay.
And no problem if the president made a personal declaration and a commitment to the young coupons. There are times we need to call upon to make a say, oh, young coupon me pay a DC. Like these are things that happen in most of the Abrahamic religions, you know. Into normal. I do not think a personal declaration or commitment to God should become a national burden. Imagine, okay, because we are because the travel and issues issues. This is not the first time. There is history to guide us. And ya Ghana pe ne country omu besi cathedral eti say obi aye bida ana oman bi aye bida uko Cote d'Ivoire between 1985 and 1989 the Our Lady of Peace Basilica was built. Yamoussoukro was built. It was built by Hufo Boanye from his personal funds. He made a personal declaration to God and he financed it from his personal resources. Anka Yaman Penyin Akufado Eka say obesi BBC e dia share radio ni monyam no anka ono ane sika no de ya menya sure say anka kuka anka be asem. Nobody is in principle saying say ukosi nyamisum fi ana temple e di manyankopon e boni. Nemom Sabi, this is a secular state, and our constitution recognizes that. And it is not for nothing, Tina, developed economies and democracies, they try to separate the state from religion. Because of Numa BC, because you live in a society of religious pluralism. You have different religions and all of that. And to me, you can't have the state being seen to be supporting one religion or two religions. And me kasa no e de esi asem bi so fanze enne ye ka National Cathedral de na about him enye Christianity
sure.
Imagine say one day yenye president bi a or traditionalist or no oji abusumsum na edi and also I want to build a national shrine. What do you think the reactions would be? And I will be say me wo hoi me name me, you know, abosom no
yes
or mobua me, that's his belief nti me pese me see national shrine e dey share abosom no animonyam. What do you think is going to happen in this country? That is where there will be all, you know, there will be talk about hey we ntimi mpini na well sana now you are creating a problem. What it would mean is the state is seen to be favoring one religion or two religions over some other religions, and that is where it becomes problematic. But anka okan no and also me be see certain temple di ama Ewrade ana e di ahye Ewrade nimunyam, but me hear from me sikim me yen kakra I am sure he could have even raised donations to support our projects, no, and would have been spared sa kuka ekosui ya be dru pempenso ozi start here na as you ye be donating sase
any seed money, any assassin and a seed money.
Assassin and a seed money.
Sure.
Assassina ye do it no, we had to collapse newly built
apartments
for judges. That was where the absurdity began from. In fact, that was the beginning of your troubles, Say we had to collapse. Yes, see, in chair. And when you collapse these buildings, it is a cost to the state, which means abansi kana ye no. And the initial commitment say the seed money any assassin kwano. Now it goes beyond that, because if you cost and quantify how much dine aya, that is a sikabia become. And undan we constituted the board of trustees. Fair enough. Nyoma omusha sie no. Eno so di nsem by. The initial cost consultants sika, architect sika. In fact, the one who designed the basilica is a Lebanese architect. Bon, Bisami said, and that is the biggest. In fact, it is the biggest church in the whole world. The basilica in Ivory Coast is the biggest church. In Yamoussoukro. It's the biggest church, like auditorium, in the whole of the world. Tio, new design here, no name Sisika Etriano. Compare that to near and Yakrani say, Pape or Ghana ni. Uncle Onusu ye bibi dia share ni monyama. He should have done even pro bono. And even at the time of Oye, you cry, he was not in good standing to do sa ejumana Oye no. Ni nyina ye buye ni guso. So in your bid to do something to the glory of God, no. Oh ye no me bebre bia emfata. And look, you cannot. And I say this rather hyperbolically, but the message still stays. So you cannot sin to glorify God. And I don't know what the position is in Christianity, but in Islam, there is a hadith, like a saying of the Prophet, that says that love for your country is part of faith. And so it doesn't show love for your country. To say, look, we rule of law and due process, but ye buy any good due process so because ye be seed templar ma already na fisika ye di wuremu initial money na ekomu no ye se sa de bi be kan ho nsem bebre. And mind you, we were at the beginning of a crisis. When the foundation started a man for swa cement dikono, that was when we are, in fact, crisis, abedu ni pempen. So that was when it was beginning to show. Our economy started heating up during that time, no. And when your economy is about heating up, what do? You cut down on your expenditures. What is here? And ntinamdi can say, look, anka a personal project, man paying sika no di anka me, look, I would support it. But to the extent that would the yen sika ne no. At the time the economy was heating up, Nyankopon kra sabi neni nje am roban timi wie sika nko si masalacha na nko si church man Nyankopon and expect say Nyankopon din shira no be cancel ni oye no. You go and kill somebody to make money. Wakokun obi eji nipa ni sika na afa nipa ni sika. E dia be si masalacha manya mezu ya God square, in fact cancel, let it cancel out e be square. Square that. Because untimi mfa bone enkoye bibi and expect say, oh, minim say nyame ye boni o, but oh mi we na mi di kakra ko si checha Yankopon de beche o be square. Nipa na we kunu no so e. Nipa na wakofa ne sika no so e. Enti I am saying say we were in a crisis situation. Nanka say share sika sem so yie pa. But look at the amount we sank into the initial bit. As you see our credit is nothing to show for. Enun dan chen. Once the board of trustees na nkasa no. Ebi mu hu say look niema nkoyie. So my information is Otabil was the first to resign.
Yes.
And that it's very telling. Obi to say Pastor Mensa Otabil would resign.
But Otabil, the end there were reasons for his resignation.
Every resignation there are reasons.
But then the reasons might not be what you are thinking.
No.
No.
What were the reasons? Would you mind to share?
No.
Why not? We're having a public
but discussion. He has not shared, so why do you think I should share? I have that information, doesn't mean I should put it
no.
That's on one share. So why should I be the person to share?
No, you are saying it might not be what I'm thinking.
Because I am coming from a position of knowledge on the reasons.
You do not even know what I'm thinking. You don't even know what I'm thinking.
Don't worry.
You don't even know what I'm thinking. To say that it might not be what I'm thinking, you don't even know what I'm thinking.
Anytime you use might, no.
And I'm saying is that you don't even know.
Yes, so tell me what you are thinking.
No. Me coming here. But the point is that there was a resignation.
Sure.
And whatever it is very telling. 94. And Bishop Dakiwad Mills.
On the reasons about out.
And Eliki also he didn't make it public.
Eliki about out.
To say Eliki also kita you don't want to share. What I say?
Yes.
And the reasons are very disturbing. And ye di bibi fufro so aba. Obi a hardware. And if Ankamina me papaya this year Nasama Bay, he should step aside.
Based on
the fact that such Raj nebe you cannot be at post whilst an investigation about you in respect of Juma Uyeno. What does it doesn't make sense. That's due process. Yeah, be investigate you step aside so you don't interfere with the investigations. And once he has submitted himself, on one release no see, he's submitting himself to the process. Who submitting a submitting preque? Step aside, let Shraj do his work. What must here? And revelations need be hard. Look, any private citizen, any ordinary person, and imagine say Minister Bina, yes, you two identities. And can yet he will be calling for his head.
But so we cut two identities. It is what is backing that claim.
Backing which claim?
Like, why can't any panel two identities based on
the ID cards are me
which ID card?
One ID card bears a certain name and a picture, and that picture looks very much like Nipana Yenim no. And Dia Yenim no by no. And yet Dia was our ID card.
Is it the passport? Or which one?
Yeah, the passport. Any Ghana card, I don't know.
I think a passport and a driver's license. But all the passports bear the same name.
No, but the name you know him by, and let me not speak for you. The name I know him by is not the name on those
in the passport.
Yes,
but that does not mean a double identity. The fact that you don't know that he has that name,
you can't have two names. You can't have two identities.
Who told you that?
Oh, so I can be called Atik Mohammed and called Obi Amwa at the same time, and Obi or Sebo at the same time.
If you say you cannot have two names, that is not true.
How is that so?
Okay, for us accounts.
No, it should be in one. It should be one name.
In what? In your official document.
In everything, yes, in your official document.
But in his official document, you've seen passport in now bear one name there.
No, Tiene his name as Obi or Oti Secretary and your friend saying. What is the? How is he referred to as a member of the board of trustees?
Reverend Victor Kusibuati.
On the passport, the man also.
Kwabena Edujemfi.
Nti asema okay, and you are telling me that because I can afford to me what Dimbe Brino. They are two separate names, and they mean two different identities.
No, in the end, what do you know on my hinefra? On my name ni Diankasa.
Kobna Asante.
No. Benjamin Asante Dako. But
those are his nicknames.
No, which ones?
Mine Kobna Asante. No, any nickname.
Krobia Kwabena Asante and the Fiedin.
But what
he know, you know. For example,
he doesn't use them as official. He doesn't use them as official.
Benjamin Asante Dako.
Yeah, so
he doesn't use them as official names.
But the American is a say say be when your appointment.
Yeah.
Na Oma Yusu or my Hene Kwabena Asante. It doesn't mean a double identity.
No, maybe. But he does not use that as official. Ras Mubarak, for example.
Yes.
Oko the documents your friend Ras Mubarak.
No.
Exactly. But the fact that he has a nickname.
No, I don't know.
No, me catch her.
Okay.
But the fact that Dimbi a friend Ras Mubarak. And Trese officially no. Yeah, man appointment. He'll be using Ras Mubarak on official documents. The release no change. Release na buy no. Dimbi na osign. It was signed as Victor
Kusibuati.
Exactly. Yes. It means it's an official name he signs with.
No, but Ras Mubarak say in the parliament where a Dimbi in the parliament say as MP for.
The Dimbi Ras Mubarak.
Are you sure?
Oh, come on. Ras is the short form of Rasta.
Yeah, I know.
No papa ndi Rasta.
I know.
What you say?
I know.
It's just like like when we were doing student politics, a lot of people refer to me as comrade, I think comrade. Until funny say I stuck with it. What you say?
Date of birth, no swear.
No.
No, but that's a different.
No, it's not.
No, but you can't date of birth.
No, there are two different dates of birth.
I feel now, yeah, but date of birth.
No, yeah, I've never. No, but me can't.
I can't
Ose.
I've not before I can't just a date of birth.
No, but it's relevant.
That's also part of the allegation.
To defraud. Why will you have to?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Before the
yeah, me card names. Yeah, it's a pronouncement. You can allege allegation of
intention to defraud.
But that is
If he
almost.
doesn't have intentions to defraud.
No, but you don't see
I haven't
that.
said he has defrauded.
it's still an allegation. But the point is you to the extent that he signed with Mr. Victor Kusibwati
On the statement.
tells you say that's the name he works with, and the name is different from near everyone official documents. So, and I'm saying, say, Anke a minister.
Yeah.
Look, it doesn't matter, minister. We are Anke ne ayeti hui. Can they call me? Oh, this guy must go. Fraudulent misrepresented. Oh, brofa kesia. And I'm saying, say, Bibia ye di manyankup. Look, even judges. There is a lawyer, but muna yamra. They say a judge like the wife of Caesar must be beyond reproach. It's a legal dictum, which means that say we obia. So you should try to rise above them, maybe where you can, and that is affairs of men. No, imagine obia or nim to do things for God. What is
Baba him say yes, even before we come to date of birth, which is another argument we can get into on the names. Also, there is a Supreme Court ruling on the use of names. Say nipa ba kwen wodi mi, and all of that. The case went to the Court of Appeal, and Court of Appeal can say illegal
to
have two names. Yes, and it went to
when
the
you
Supreme.
Say two names,
hold on. Mamin Kan, you okay, come to
all right.
Or say. And I read this earlier. Kofi Sapon versus Franklin Jantwa, suit number J415 2015. The trial court also considered that it is not illegal for any person to acquire property in his native name.
No.
Let me finish. Relax.
All right.
And because Aqua Shraj, these legal arguments will be made, and Shraj will then make a decision. The Court of Appeal considered this and concluded it did not violate any law unless there was proof that it was done with a criminal purpose. Unless there was proof that it was done with a criminal purpose. Good. It is common knowledge that among the accounts, the name that is given at birth is very often not the same name that the person carries, especially when he goes to church and is baptized with a Christian name or the name that he carries into school. This is the Supreme Court speaking.
No, not Supreme Court.
Meanwhile, back home,
this is appeals court. So it's not a fully settled case.
The Supreme Court was referring to what the trial court had said. The trial court being the Court of Appeal case.
So this is Supreme Court ruling?
Absolutely.
Okay, I thought you said appeals court.
No, Echo Appeals Court first.
And
the appeals court said, say, illegal. And plaintiff need to call up.
The Supreme Court held
also affirmed the appeals
ruling,
court decision.
Okay,
yeah, that's the point I'm making, yes. And you're saying, meanwhile, back home, he is commonly known and called by his native name given at birth. Thus, it will not surprise anybody if such a person acquired property in the native name.
Okay.
It is an age-old practice.
Good.
And this is the Supreme Court speaking. It is a unless you establish...
It is okay for him to use acquire...
Sure.
But Dia Oyusu, Mr. Victor Kusi...
Yes.
Victor is not a native name.
No.
Good.
No.
And I think the argument is not about, say, there's a problem with using a native name. But the point is, there are two different names. And an allegation has been made, even in respect of using one of those to set up a certain company. What you must say?
All his companies, the Kwabna Edugem.
You don't know that.
No, at least Samuel said that in his post.
All his companies, or the ones that you know.
The companies Samuel listed.
Exactly.
Sure.
Because he's a reverend minister, he uses the Kusibwa thing for reverend jobs, and he uses this one for private business.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's everything wrong with it.
Date of birth also a different.
Date of birth
Meba,
is different. Doesn't
no,
mean different from that.
no.
What can name?
Obi Meba. No, you see, it's Meba into very good. Kobna Edu Jamfin, near say name.
I don't have that information.
Victor Kusibwaj, which one is his surname?
I don't know.
You see, there are fundamental issues with these things.
Okay.
I am sure that the ruling was referring to when you decide to use Yamvan say Midi Atik Mohammed, and I can say this on air. Me fear Dean, not so many people know, is that your friend Tanko.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
Ibrahim Tanko.
Anti Fanny say
Yes.
your friend Atik Mohammed. Now I decide on another occasion say Mohammed Atanko.
Yes.
It's still the same name, but the second one is still my name. But in the case of Nyeyeke, which one is the surname? Is it Victor?
Victor cannot be a surname.
How would you know that? Victor Beho. Okay, Beho was the surname.
Yes, where is the family name, of course?
Okay. No, but it's possible the surname could be
Victor Moses.
Or Nigerian and Philip, whatever. It's possible. But I'm just saying, sir, which one is the surname? Because this ruling is making reference specifically to the name, the first name.
The native name.
The first name of the individual.
Yes.
It could be native or it could be a Catholic or an English name, whatever.
Yes.
They are talking about the first name. But surnames in this way.
No, native name into the same. My native name.
Let me help you.
No, me but
yes.
Yes. That is your name.
Yes.
Good. And your papa knew. That's the point I'm talking about.
Surnames.
Yes.
From to say no, maybe I don't have evidence to say no. Let me speak on that premise. Per pictures no and our passports now. Okuja to the buy. The surname is supposed to be James. 94. Other names no. And they Kwabna
Edu.
Kwabna
Edu James. No name for
let's have a passport name. Passport name.
Okay, passport ne can say name. Okay,
good.
Good.
Another name.
Okay. Anti Victor Kusi Boatin no. Where does the Jemfi feature in all of that? And Anamia Sanina no Kwan Din. He is called Victor, he's called Kusi, he's called Boatin. Is that what we're saying? That is the point. Until ruling, I'm sure that lawyers will argue their cases, but I'm saying, sir, there is something fundamentally wrong with the nomenclature.
No, I think essentially what the ruling says, because the accounts, yama udin at birth, inti ebia yawo Wednesday, yama ebia kweku.
Kusi Boatin, there is no day womb.
Enya no, say yaka kwabena edu jemfi no, and who say day name womb kwabena.
Which when DNA Kobna no, Nidian no. Say according to passport no. That's his first name.
No first name. In the emphasis, what the ruling is saying, the emphasis amount how Kwabena do Jemfi.
Fine.
And they be a Wuko school.
Now you are Benjamin. But your surname remains the same.
Not necessarily.
Oh,
not in all cases.
No. How?
Let me say not in all cases.
Unless you adopted and now you have a different guardian. Would that changes the dynamics? But I'm saying, if those variables are held constant?
I agree with Obi,
not in all cases.
Even in the account, to me, Fred will be married. Ejiwa becomes the same.
Yeah.
You are just no. Papa was saying him that.
No, but maybe
he has a surname called
Obi's point. That's all.
No, but that is a weak point. That's what I'm saying.
It's not weak.
The surname already exists, which is Jemfi. And you can't say all of a sudden the name Jemfi no Ayira now it has become already the Kwabna Edu, which is local name.
Yes.
Kusi Boatin any local name.
Yeah, it is.
So it is normal in Akan tradition to have different separate local names.
You bet me the what to be. Enya papa din na da
no nyabutenti or the Edu or the Kwabna Edu Kusi Boatin. Is that what you are saying?
So we have one in parliament.
No, but
Mensa Bonsu.
No, but when
all of them, each one of them qualifies for a say.
No, but his need four names. Need 3. There are 3 separate names.
No, but I think the point I want to make because you refer to the ruling, and I'm not trying to interpret the ruling, but I mean my understanding is the Supreme Court thinks Udia edebema, u native name edebema, so ya can and mind you say we in that context say I can for and that's why it says say a perfectly normal with the accounts.
No, that's
yes, you bet mama udin at birth. Ebia una nabi ni ede na 20 ebia ye kwaku una nabi de kwachi ne ama ebia kwaku kwachi. You understand what one na no. But afei na o papa nso ebema o edin a e na o de be go school with o papa surname.
Until your
the ruling is saying say that kwaku kwabna kwachi no. Say we use no dey acquire property.
I don't
na legitimate it is right.
I'm not the passport and a date of birth ye different.
That's how you would
you see, and I'm going to tie in the date of birth. No, Nienti I may say these
the
are
different
two
date of birth. No, back when the driver's license and your passport. Passport.
ID and
no,
also passport. The same passport.
No, ID. Then what the third year or the or the core bank or the year
only providing
information.
Transactions. He's not defending. He's just providing information.
To the
Obi. I perfectly agree and understand how account names are given. But my question is, are we saying, say, ye wo no ye ma no edu kwabna edu ena yes atun kusi boatin? Is that the argument?
I don't have that information.
Very good.
Yeah.
And to the extent, say, Victor Abim, let's just say, in one instance, you bet your friend Victor kusi boatin. Nina, unless we are assuming say name in count, in which case no one until he's qualified to be called Victor, until to me friend Mr. Victor, yet me friend Mr. Kusi, yet me friend Mr. Boatin, yet me friend Mr. Edu, yet me friend Mr. Kwabna. No, onum kwaba. No, like does it how? I insist ye. But aside no, what if the other issue that makes it problematic is the different dates of birth.
Okay.
And what is even more problematic, when you say, you know, if anybody has issues, let the law explain it.
Yeah, but the law is going to explain it.
But beyond that, no.
Judicial.
Say a company is set up with a certain name, and it is assumed to have done some work for the secretariat. Almost anye juma ma secretariat, it gave money and a loan, whatever it called.
Yeah, to the secretariat.
Are there official letters that indicate say the secretariat needed money, wrote to the company, and the company decided? Because the board of trustees said enye susu group would me use sika ne or China a drew 1 week and the amount. Until ebi a drew be sunan nipani sikana me sika dia. It's a setup. Until are we saying say the secretariat wrote to company no saying say ya ho akire abai mai sika. Yeah,
but that letter is in the public domain. You've not seen it.
Meba. Who wrote the letter?
The secretariat, of course.
No. Who is the secretariat? Who is running the secretariat?
Is there a board?
National Cathedral Secretariat at the presidency.
Was there any board resolution?
What is his role? Meba, when you say National Cathedral Secretariat?
Only secretary to the board of trustees. He is secretary to the board.
So it was the secretariat at the presidency that wrote to his company.
Is that what a letter says? You've not seen the letter.
That even makes it worse. Say president, that the presidency now rise to private companies to seek loans.
No, not the president.
That's what he's saying. That the secretariat is in
the national secretariat.
It's in the office of the
Cathedral Secretariat, the National Cathedral Secretariat,
and the presidency.
In the office of the president.
That's why it is.
Exactly. Look, anything that happens in the office of the president, it is the office of the president that is deemed to have acted.
Yeah.
Now, the office of the president now rise to private individuals to go and contract loans. Is that what we're talking about?
But is it wrong?
It is out of place.
Is it wrong? Is it illegal?
Where is the board resolution on that?
You can request for that. It makes sense.
And before that, presidency, it is financed with money from the consolidated fund sanctioned by the Minister for Finance. And this Jessica from a private entity, it ought to have been sanctioned by the Minister for Finance. Is that what happened? Because Fanny said, look, whether it is concessional loan, interest and down.
I hear it was interest free, no interest.
That's what I'm saying. Whether it is concessional loan and a loan, and you can't just go and go out of your way to go and contract loans without the approval of the Minister of Finance, so long as a fully under the office of the president. There are so many questions around this whole thing.
I think the letter you were requesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Into where the National Cathedral of Ghana Secretariat, location near Presidential Lodge, State House, Accra. That's the address. Good. August 26th, 2021.
Yeah.
The director, JNS Talent Center Limited, Accra. Dear Director, loan to pay contractors for the National Cathedral of Ghana.
To pay contractors.
Yeah.
Very good.
And it's because a public document, that's why
it's
sure. Already in the
very,
public.
very well. Yeah.
The Board of Trustees of the National Cathedral is to make payment to the contractors of the National Cathedral project, which is overdue. Payments have delayed at the Controllers and Accountant General's Department. We therefore seek financial assistance of 2.6 million cedis from from JNS Talent Center Limited as a top up of our balance, which we are expecting to be credited into our account by 15th of September 2021 at the very latest. This loan request has become necessary due to the urgency to advance the second payment for the next phase of the work on the National Cathedral. The loan will be refunded as soon as we receive payment allocated from the Controller and Accountants Department Office. Yours truly, signed Paul Opoku Mensah, PhD, Executive Director, National Cathedral of Ghana. And it's copied to the Chairman and Member Secretary, Board of Trustees.
So in the first place, he was part of the Board of Trustees that approved this letter. Read the first part.
So letter we
No, read the first part.
Okay.
The first part.
The Board of Trustees of the National Cathedral is to make payment to the contractors of the National Cathedral project, which is overdue.
Yes. So, and Mr. Edu Jamfi or Kusibuatin is a member of that board.
Yeah, Board of Trustees. No, sure.
Very good. So I'm a member of a board. We are supposed to make payments and buy it. And we know who is supposed to give us the money.
Yes.
All payments, if there are delays, who do you write to? Minister of Finance. You don't go out of your way to write to a private company. That is.
But how about if you are more call Ministry of Finance?
No,
for
don't.
Some time
That's a
still
conjecture.
nothing
no.
was coming.
Still, now say yes, I understand the agency be able to look. If that is the case, then every ministry, department, and agency can go to any bank or anybody, black whatever, and say.
I asked the question. For this letter, Matik, what is illegal about this letter?
It is illegal because it is only Ministry of Finance that can contract loan for and on behalf of your friend Office of Government.
National Cathedral Secretary,
because it's in the office of the president. The office of president on his own, much less a sub-body under it. In what capacity were they borrowing? You see, you borrow on your own.
The National Cathedral is registered as a public company. You know that.
No, so are they borrowing on their own balance sheet and on their own capacity?
Absolutely. So they pay the person back and
almost can free
from controller.
Minister of Finance.
Let him say, almost payment from controller.
Yes.
If your monster can, they will refund. That's what is in the letter.
No, that's what I'm saying. So agencies that take allocations from the Minister of Finance, say any control and this can they go out of their way to say why we have companies that are rich, they are body corporates.
Okay.
But they can't go out of their way to agency be sorry. That's not how it works. And it's raising more questions than answers.
Okay,
and
I have a friend, loyal listener, say, Obi, the National Cathedral is a company limited by guarantee.
Which makes it like an NGO.
Yes, it is a separate legal entity from the office of the president.
So this is an NGO?
Yes, limited by guarantee.
No, if it's an NGO, then why are we financing it? That's the point. If it's an NGO, why are we financing it? The very fact that public resources makes it responsible to us and to follow certain due process. You get the point I'm making.
Yeah.
And if it goes out of due process path now, then there are questions to answer. And what makes it even more complicated?
And you think this arrangement where the secretariat wrote to a private company for some kind of a concessionary
for a loan. They did not even specify in the letter.
Okay.
So in the letter, it's not even clear whether it was concessional or not.
Or anything, yes.
It could be anything.
Are you saying, sir, that letter to the private company for money, the paper trails show, sir, 2.6 now, you know, that is what was refunded, the same amount, at least in the paper trail bank statement. Out, you know.
They said in 24 hours.
Oh, that's what you saw?
That's what happens. On paper, you're the one and no channel do this kind of baba according to the letter.
Oh, that
is that
how long did it take?
Well, the letter.
I've not seen that.
No, but you've seen the paper trail that paid back. That claims it was paid back. Have you seen that?
It's in the public.
No, which
amount for share on?
Have you seen it? Have you seen it? Mami, fancy.
I've just gotten information. I'm saying 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
Until 2 weeks now, I'm on to mean. So you see, I do. Would you want to see it?
It did not want 2 weeks.
No, yeah, No. Look, to be frank, Asamna Ewo Shrajno.
We are going into it too much. As you're going to the
we are discussing the merits. No, once it's been submitted to them,
that we must submit. Say, Shraj acknowledging
receipt.
Okay, all right.
But the man needs to step aside.
Now investigations.
How can you? Yes.
Okay, I think let me conclude on you, Honorable Bremwe.
Let me do some quick interventions before I come to this subject because my year, because of time, First one, NDC.
Timelines for
friend guidelines for the and then a release. At least say on the 13th of May. Flag bearership.
What's too much?
Okay, flag bearership and parliamentary primaries,
date being.
Local parliament. Oh, David.
Oh, when they say Wakanda, that's it. Oh, okay. Sorry. Me. And no, 13th May 2023. And a motor parliamentary and presidential.
The same day.
Oh, really?
Same day.
President
across the country.
Oh,
address actually young say nipa ba ko na mo na zamu to nyina papa mu ni candidates
na hu ko jobo supposed to
your time no sir it bonfire say all the parliamentary aspirants my interest is in my constituency Adenta constituency. Please one why am I being say mo kwa to friends Ramadan, no, please change your mind.
Why?
No, because you see because you see media please listen to me. You see, this seat was in the opposition's hands.
Yes.
Obia bire no ho pra no ho tutu ne so tu na wakoye election. Now we win at this seat, and it becomes about to say about DNDC sem. It's now yefu. Obia and they use all manner of machinations, some from above and all of that to try to come and push people out.
But me see the first time when NDC was holding it.
Okay. And I mean just do you understand? I wasn't happy that
what I mean is that he came like the prime minister.
No, Ashimo came.
Ashimo won.
Yes.
They were holding the seat. And Ashimo prime minister no Lucy. Modibo Lucy the first time. Ramadan
lost the
contested
Ashimo
and lost and won.
No, he lost.
Prime Minister
and lost.
No,
he didn't win.
He won against your friend Mami.
No, Prime Minister. No, so he has never lost the general election. Oh, losing once.
Yes, he won against. He lost against.
Yes. And today NDC they no what they can call Lucy. And so was Abe winning.
But
yes.
Ramadan.
The second time our contesting.
But Olusu first election, and this is the second time. Or contesting are winning. You know, so what I'm trying to say is that for me, I think
but also as cutting amount for dreams.
Yes. No, you're cutting their dreams. If they are in the same shoes, I will advocate for that.
For them.
Because you see, we are becoming that one term.
It's a good mark.
Do you understand? Before say, as I say, establish it because that is what makes the MPP think say they can still come back. Because if NDC, yeah, that's your successive
terms now.
And people definitely will know, say, Charlie, this is a no-go area for us.
So how many terms is it?
You know, for me, I think, say,
it is
at least two.
I know you
Two there. No, I have made it public. Please. I'm proposing I know Yelita the last time. I don't think if she had won and no MP
and Obi
I would have done the same thing. It's a matter of principle. And say me should be any. That is the first one. Number two, elections here, you know.
Yes.
I think some, especially the chairman, former chairman.
Sure.
He was offended big time. Inema Bibri Kwaswa.
Okay.
Because they dragged his name into all manner of the LPP didn't try for foreign be or sitting chairman of a political party. And in case a war put a court to cry, court over and over because of your friend saying persecution.
Yes.
Now, yes, because of election, they see our Danny MPP, you see La Bianca, and I mean, and a sponsor. I mean, so many things. And I think that the man is in pain. The man is in pain. Me, I talk to him. He's in pain. He's totally demoralized as a politician. And I don't think, it is fair on him. So I think party penny for friend. Sorry. Nah, being found because it pushes good people away from politics. It pushes good people.
But going into the contest, no, he understands politics.
At that level, no, you done say you better that level. Do you understand? To the extent, say, you see, we are Pentecost, Nikrana, and you're counterproductive in a political party. How? For me, I think, say, you from sorry tentem and do something because you see, the wounds are too gaping. I
was say close before admonition way or the Bema NDC for now transcend. So we found people for so because damaging characters. When people from NDC,
he should let me finish my part.
The last a day of Otunfo. When my team is here, when that chairman, General said, Ebe Kumasi,
Sampai.
Okochia ne de enko with ni team ni yaminum. Regional chairman na akwasi so Okochia wo mo de enko.
Sir? I
was shocked.
Sampai. Me mumodin. I am saying say empaying for
when you are saying
because I think say personally me I was hurt to the extent that I also had to go berserk at a certain point. Man to me as nas ni nyina nwi man to nwi because I got to a point it got to a point I just people called and because you see the chairman we were describing like that me I worked with him Juma closely in the 2020 elections and I know
what he did,
things he did, and nobody at the national headquarters can doubt what I'm saying. For someone to make him look like a villain, a demon, yet counterproductive to especially your flag bearer, your bonfire say Obesa taking over to lead the party for the next elections. Obey anti-JM. Miankasa until I went to Kolebu. I was on a trail. We went to a friend said Tamale came to Techima, Kumasi. We were Kumasi Hotel.
94.7.
I had to fly the next morning to Accra, and then the next moment I was in Kolebu. We were working for JM at the instance of this man. How then does he become anti-JM overnight just because
of an election?
He wants to become retain his seat as a national chairman? For me, I think there's so much work that this team led by the current chairman
would have to do.
On sorry, non friend penny phone cano. Baby, ubi kasa ye tia ubi na anya ne de. Omun transe no mun kan na assume they can say. abotoyem emra eba asumdwe so be DH so that all of us can go into this next election as one team. Nobody will carry any pain or bitterness against anybody towards that election. Okay. Finally, there's a young lady, Obuasi. Yare serious. Hiambwa.
Oye party
deputy women organizer. One of the constituencies in Obuasi. Mr. Party paying for. We should get up and look for here 60,000 Ghana pay.
That's not the Yankan radio so.
Yankan.
That's all Kosher party paying for their party headquarters.
Party head office. The Honor party paying for no. Ubi ko where we are got 2 party paying for you now. What are you saying? I mean, this is a medium. I think
they are listening.
Yes,
and there could even be.
I am on my knees.
Here 60,000.
60,000 cedis per for an
constituency officer,
deputy women organizer. In here, I will G. Not their Kofanoche. They are here surgery. Me paubia chao kakra ubetibienya, especially the leadership of the party, flag bearer office, wherever, almost stepping in. Let us save someone's life for once. And yes, sir. A better certain bia on your betting is on near Corner family. 100,000, 10,000 Ghana. Near the 10,000 Ghana.
10,000 credits or in particular.
No, I don't know. On some your national Dibiba region Dibiba.
2,000
Dibiba near one. And no, Intino Mister, this one dear. I beg. Yen step in na yen boa sa ye lady we medamase on this cathedral. Oh, there
we a preliminary
cathedral 10 minutes per me visit
10
major ni na ma don't worry
7 minutes I can't
me say after 10 minutes we didn't na be ma don't worry time na aka no nyina ayo dia. You see Obi nyame djuma ena president so obeyo. I have sat in this room with you.
Yes.
And I admonish the president. So you see, meaning na ankasa a promise no yema nyankopo yanka we did that. Okay, there are small churches around town. Okay. Omo pesca esi asoredan. O koma omo even $1 million. They can build themselves a certain house and call it the house of God. Because to me, you can't build the Adaya Ebeson Yamieni. Do you understand? You on your own. Like as Atik said, the Ivorian president Oyusu proceeds from Onwankasane stables, one far Abainsika Ankusi. That's why there's no controversy about it.
Who tells you that Rico's own?
Yes.
What controversy?
Okay, Yamusokro, Basilica, Yamusokro.
I would say for by the bottom scan.
Yes, that's what happened.
It is not true.
It is true.
Oh, you president Akufo-Addo started, you know. Okase Okoba could receive funds if amount for. He started it. Archbishop Mo.
A central forming board of trustees. That was their TOR.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Until greed set in.
Oh, greed saying.
Greed.
No, they were clear from the beginning. So, I'm a seed funding.
Seed funding, no. How much was it? Did they mention it from the onset?
Greed.
No, I said, to meet you, architect. Architect, you could see, sir. Cathedral be New York say Washington. Please check.
Now New York Cathedral you see
No, there's a cathedral project he you can't say he was the architect for.
I know it's a
it's a very known
black something museum.
Yes, it's a museum. That's right.
African history.
Even
he was actually a consortium of architects.
For it to be called. Me see, me I see you who pon you say you ana you.
Ona say who designs no.
Design assembly e kan.
Yet me who design.
Na say architect na adwuma na design no be
no. So for classy. Sika ya spending any tokro na ohun no. No na ama was resign cry.
Can we no.
What you say? So Sika ya spending and he can only see a pit. That is what he was referring to. Obi, this is nothing for us to joke about. And for me, I'll take this dimension where Asofuono now are seeing reason to resign. Because
the resignations did not come now. I mean, they all resigned 2 years ago. And to put it in proper context. And yet now no more reason to resign. No, but in proper context. Also say they are now seeing reason to resign. They resigned 2 years ago. It is in proper context.
And then resigning. They saw this same greed that I'm talking about.
And they were unable to tell the world.
No, they couldn't have.
And they were unable to tell the world.
They couldn't have.
So then nobody should sit here and say, Obi sits off
say or you privy to information
for him to know sir that he was
just a bit on it. Although funding for the construction came directly from President Houphouët-Boigny's personal funds, the cost of the basilica generated controversy as Cote d'Ivoire was going through a financial and economic crisis at the time of the construction.
So it was funded from his pocket.
So Obi,
that's not a precedent.
Me say, as of one, the fact that they saw reason to start resigning, that alone should tell you, say, they realized that the whole thing had left, has shifted from under the glory of God to a politician's desire to do something and make profit out of it. Because the ACC subsequently, every now and then, has become a scandal. So that building, as we speak, is desecrated.
Hey.
Desecrated.
Who you saw words I can say?
No, it's desecrated. Period. If you I think I said it, and I'm repeating it. If you think God loves these kind of things, even David, our friend, a man after my own heart, because of what he did to Uriah's wife. Uriah, and for that matter, his wife. Catherine said, "Who sat down with unsi? Remember when who plans any BBR the way I'm a panel."
Asemba FM 94.7.
Mojane one in some. In Psalm 51, you see David's confession. Create in me a clean heart and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from your presence. Take not your Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me.
Restore unto me.
You understand? He realized my bonny.
Yeah.
Even that creates, you know. Yamane see. I saw it down. Now, we want confess you. They are still holding on to. You can see the spirited defense by this Paul who Doctor.
He's the director of the National.
One letter, one day, the actual 4 letters. You can tell from the letter, the signature. Just a pen here. This signing here, ni BBR. We say she pressure the pen also. You understand? And yet they want to beat our minds with it. Now, I call your friend saying, Trajwa, my first question. I want to offer bank statement of your friend was a talent.
GNS. Yeah.
Before the scanner, date
yeah, we need to know. Juma Ben Crown or Moya to be able to loan that much money.
Date now,
2.6 million Ghana cedis.
Oh, that's how you ever you better talent, no. You better have talent in here.
It's supposed to be a school.
Do you understand? We will check whatever the talent is.
No.
Obi.
Debbie.
Me see.
School.
2 million Ghana.
Obi.
Me see.
It's a school.
Obi.
Honorable.
Me ba.
And how much taxes do they pay?
Yes.
Yeah, but now so they had now investigation finish as
what they should cover.
Your friends are there no saying your whole year turnover.
Yeah.
Me boy. Yeah. As for your turnover, it can meet this man's criterion.
But
but
your
on
balance,
the day now transfer now was made now that is when we will check whether the day before now the balance is saying any day now or transfer no balance a better account, all these things will come to bear.
Yeah, but Straj is competent enough.
And I mean, just me question. I mean, see, these are things I will want to see.
And their tax, payments and
do you understand?
These are very.
It is a old control letter.
Even when the petitioner did not call for that.
No. Now who bank? I think. Bank account. Okay. You have a bank account. As a government year releaser, Sikano to be kogum. And there's a continuous trail. Say Sika ebegum ema wo year disbursement. So if you need 2.6 million, you skip your bank or your bankers.
Exactly.
And then you go to a board member's company.
That is if you know, say they did not do all of that. If maybe they did that, it was unsuccessful.
Master, you see, it's not about whether they did or they did not.
There should have been a letter.
You see, you must have terms of reference. Okay. You know your parameters.
Okay.
As a head of an institution like this, especially being a government institution, you must know the parameters within which to operate. Who need that fluid, unhindered latitude to do things that me, Kojo Eduasa, as a private man or private person can do. Who want limitations, and you have laws and rules, regulations, and bylaws to guide your whatever you do. It is for me. We'll leave that to the friend saying.
The Straj,
yes.
To hard tax to be
able to raise that
then
much money,
we will come to that point. Who say you see, but you see,
man of God,
to the name and the date of
company, and you only taxes.
To the name,
no, but you know,
to the name and the date of birth.
It's owned by somebody.
Obi, no matter how hard anybody tries, me, I know you are playing the Juma as a moderator of a program, so you need to ask the questions and place things within context in the can't count. But Obi, you see, if any man, I think it's in 1 Timothy something, wants to be a bishop, he must be a husband of one wife. He must be an upright. He must able to. Obi sending me
the pastor, elder, deacon.
Exactly. Obi was we now fan sending any kind. You see, you are supposed to live a
above board,
exemplary life. Me Kojo Eduasa me tinye suffer at this stage.
That's why you're armor bearer.
Yes, but me suffer. I fell as an armor bearer. Okay, me armor bearer, and I fell. When I say fell, I fell proper.
He's still down.
Still, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. If he's on fire. 94.7. I fell heavily. Do you understand? But like I said, grace, is sufficient.
It's sufficient.
That's true. I prepare me kakran, and I'm still working on myself. But pass at this stage, meet me as
okay. Ordinary
say me kwa could this off for dear a bayedin kakra edi amami because of some of those blots on my friend saying.
Okay.
Because a bit microphobia sintibia. And that is why I think this man has desecrated his altar.
How?
By this date of birth and double name and double dealing issue. Double dealing because now it appears he has a pastoral face with a certain identity and a political business face and identity, which he's using both not interchangeably, like simultaneously and tactically. Because he preaches very well. Put here the preaching is solid. He is eloquent. Who speaks with authority from the unction of God. You can see it. But the anointing has been taken to a different dimension, and politics I didn't feel and I think first and foremost he should have that to resign from the board. That is number one.
Investigation.
On resigning na omrambejina yina nya na soft and sorry for penny.
Kojo mate say commentary on Tima Sampine and Kasa Bini, I'm sorry. Right.
You have all the time.
Obi,
Honorable.
Winimidi.
Udin Samuel Pine. The minimum no.
Your friend Kwabena Sechi.
Kwabena Sechi.
Me what your Masuba Krata. Samuel Kwabena Sechi Pine and also. Me O level certificate Samuel Pine. Me A level certificate Samuel Kwabena Pine. Kwabena no kra no mo dey Troy no. Wo mo dey fanti Kwabena ni COBBN na dey.
Oh no mo dey.
Enti man you su me A level no.
Oh, no brainer.
Oh please. Man you su me O level no.
Embassy you call me your bouncing your ban
O level no. And ko training college na me ko invest na me dey bedroom. Enti e ba din a said the okay no na the Supreme Court so kan no. And nanchen. 2 me Cathedral no me support 300%. Say ABC.
CDA
Me financially have contributed to that project.
Wow.
Minim do nyame ayama me.
Wow.
If they one and then this desecrates a project no. Womu hu at the power ho da. What's the president? Esi obesi Cathedral nyame nmunyam. And in Tinkonfan Bottom Chicken. Tamo Castle be free SHS no. One a castle fan bottom scan.
Say I saw ya my second
na Cathedral no ya amanu papa.
Me sorry.
I saw did.
Ana okwa odebeko
did once.
Oh, I told the bia you can't send be wa Ghana ha.
Let's
the Cathedral is it for
Atik Mamen Kasa. Oh.
G.
Atik let him finish.
No Muslims are. No Muslims are. Woman too kind akọ Emirates no. Ebi ekọ hwe babia mo kabani mo nema no no.
I should go to tourist.
Meba
okay.
Oh, please.
Bible Museum be ho, Garden of Eden be ho. Na wo hu ni o meka.
And we say na eye me ya no. About all of
400 million. Ya da so gina boom.
Yak sign aka. Set off would be at the possibly ignorance and only technical eye. Not the Kokana Sama. You won't see a baby Osama Numkobuni.
World Trade Center.
Almost started dig call from no. Do you know how much it cost before that building came up?
We have no idea.
Oh, into a thought that be a Mayan fire in layman's view. Because I cannot be seen dying, not but say,
he was a member of the board of trustees.
Oh, please. What can I be brave, and no nanche must say project from day one. And we knew why. What can obey you be there? But now you talk about this, and then be people that are respected so much that don't respect anymore. They term it the Cathedral of Lies. No, besides say a dear lie na cost. What's it obi am obi contract? Na osi eden bi say oji say. Na chenka we oye no pro bono me boa. Eye choice
94.7.
Opa de beche, opon fanche. Yeni meeting forward ya so mu a, wo mo come say aso dan om jiska. I don't know mo ka say ye de ache.
But the man was
because we are Catholic. Na yesi Holy Rose aso no. I concrete am so aye no, me so any free. Ba me di by days ka. I don't know canisa.
But he wasn't qualified to do the work.
Eto should be Obi. Nipa no ensema waka eni nasifo no. Eye president Ediana. President one day wati enkrofo say djuma say na pese ye ma oman no. Monhwe enye mame. Enti so bimpo let me put it in quotes. Obi koye bibi na emfata. Is it president na e kaso no na akwakoye? It's an say argument no ekosa. Now you are looking at one individual. Okujeto ablakwa. Obeye deputy minister. Onu akaje so okohoro ni car. Satam no gibe 3,500 Ghana a month. Satam no oh yes.
Deputy minister
that time no quite deputy minister no just say. Na na kwa minister just.
Channel has report no by.
Okoye 200 million. 20,000. And I say, one of this man. One of this man. and I refi the car butum. But Oko worry
na
no play
if I some way
me no I didn't know the papa no atu ho kano because as my wo kano say me nim ni parties no do person kire say papa no a oboni din no waye den what to me point na say boni ben no waye wo so double identity jen konko hwe say ne as we speak ne so kuta double passport. Let's go and check. We've not checked.
3 passports or the buy and they be the same name.
And I'm saying we've not checked. The mema who know, me know me who you know, ni na kra valid.
Yeah, they are all expired.
Passport. Who bet me this 2021 and pardon. Who bet me who bank na say. I think some me who bank. And now business be you need my identity. Now me the passport ba now expire 2021. We accept this as valid document.
But if I'm going to renew my passport, it's the same now. Unless I swear an affidavit.
Oh yeah, and that's why it is regular. All the 3 passports or 4 are the same name.
Because who could you sue the acquire business no? Me ba na me the betro now expire 2016. Will you accept it say a valid document for business consumption?
No, one it expires.
Again, Mr. Again, funding arrangement now Cathedral no.
The funding arrangement
from private sources.
Yeah, the board of trustees is to raise funds. The government gave land and seed funding.
Obi, I'm the mayor of the city of Kumasi.
Sure. A big post.
Oh, yeah. Obi, my main can't say binchro. A third the beer. Your lighting systems in for issues. A beer will host in the back and the horse, no. A try to bet me break it down. Not assembling so niska. When crop for your boys, you want to the top creditor. No did do be at Facebook. At some come and be some meme who is I know. I get worried. But me bottom sika. Nam dia mo mo say monye nkoto cables no na mo nkoye adwuma no as I speak with you e ka wo ho a wo muntu ya mame I did not do so say wo mu wia wo mu mame
obeje interest bia
let her ya kan ni nyina
emergency interventions now.
Now wait
emergency about what is the emergency about Cathedral?
When emergency intervention and emergency crash and I could have waited for them to I could have waited for them to finish fixing the machine. But what was it? 2 weeks. One munisika, I told the beer, a real big ho, you know declare it.
But that's different.
One munisika, into no me quiet, into the bottom line of my contract. Who bet me Bisase? Sikano Amuso Diama woman. Or Jim Fasonia for Sobi or Juana. That is where you bring in conflict of interest.
No, the bar back.
What I say?
How much are you saying?
Sansa me because asemna and this new one no mo dwene pere kan wo ma kan wo ma yira into wo ma church room ewuram wo ho nso wonya tisu ho ya ne ma miensa ada se bibi e free utim ana so ko se wa kwanu wi ana ko akwase wa kwatwa to sa ne ma miensa we se ina so enya enti asemna edani kwam na ye kan wo ma free so and they go tangential they are not coming to issues that are proper no enti me na me bisa say petition no so ada commercial right no or the commercial right say why den say okuta obodobo identity charge asem say can report
charge any conflict of interest there
it's conflict of interest no we be prove say can no dey or emfaso bi onya free hunt
not necessarily
now when him say
but there should be benefits
when him say
you see
one critical element there should be benefits
obi and I mean some fam kwai because me sika I assembly
evidence bia
what do assembly
you don't have any evidence
what to assembly
of having paid any money
we could even accuse you say you decided
you don't have any evidence
extort money from the assembly in the name of doing emergency fixes.
I did not be
and I may say right
a petition
commercial right
no is there a paper trail that shows that
you track you dey kwaya adwuma asay assembly so ni sika mama o musika say munyin kwaya dey fa kwaya adwuma no assembly ni ni sika twa na ka chem say
omuntua without interest and there is no benefit
beyond to so
but it is
it's a proof to that answer
but at the conflict of interest you should prove benefit
but who akwese assembly ya kan nyina no eye otan time and then the Ghana ya de kan asem ha hatred envy and pure lies and then the kan asem of Ghana has me wo hwe na ya kan a black history building.
Yes.
I've been there. And I quite am see me call. They told me so. Want me Remo, just say what sign, what apply about 3 months. Sada no musino. Me did it na US. No am hon to completely. At how many scabroso.
Okay.
But now they are reaping the benefits of that. Other cathedrals worldwide. And now Bakunshi or Paris. My friends and cry.
Paris the cry then. Oh, Notre Dame.
Actually, you know, you saw how people contributed.
Sure.
Who said the omunya tika edi but the one no ya bastardizing as same way say into obimpo interest to even contribute to you know administration.
No,
and why
the French government made the mortal mistake of making contributions to that Uncle Behun.
But you are not also saying everything about the rebuilding were all done by
why were they making payments without parliamentary approval? Why were they making payments without parliamentary approval?
Payment of what?
Payment to contractors and others without parliamentary approval.
Notre Dame no.
And you're Notre Dame
I said we say no.
Cathedral no husika no mutia any
contractors no. Them so more allocation.
Allocation from who? At the blind side of parliament. Allocation at the blind side of parliament. Main road there nam so main road no mansi no and am mo ye bi o main road no so
mo de asen we koto
mansi main road no and am mo gina main road na chi na mo ye mo niema
obetra parliament
road to play
obetra parliament censure and someone no ekuja to abla kwane wo mo nyina ati ho obi antimi aka hwe obi antimi aka sa so ka oboa. And you still want to go on that tangent? Who's the main road? No, what is the realm?
Main road, no more. And I'm block.
They make an allusion to Notre Dame. Notre Dame, Rwanda, a Catholic church.
Sure.
Cathedral, Rwanda.
The state through a board of trustees.
Mrs. State, no, it didn't want the Huska.
When you have the Huska. What you say? What you say?
But the people make the Huska.
What's architect?
And that's why I bad that you know. People have kept this.
Architect can so when your evidence be say, Obi Wieska will
be because he did a similar project.